Hey everyone, I've got a doozy for you today. We're going to get into the subject of nutrition, which is one of our 6 pillars for our daily routine and arguably one of the most important for our overall health of our body and our mind. As you know, this is a very highly debated subject over the history of time, and there's no 100% right answer. But much like working out, there's no exact solution for everyone. So we'll go into some of the concepts and you can choose what works best for you. So let's look at the raw inputs that you should be putting into your system every day to fuel your body and mind. I think they come down to food, water, and various supplements. We're going to talk a lot about the food part, but let's start with water. Water is one of the most important things you can have throughout your day. You can't live without it. Your body's made up of about half of it. Many experts say you should take up to an ounce of water for every pound body weight. I actually take 180 to 200 ounces in throughout the day, every day, and because it makes you feel great. It basically flushes toxins out of your body, helps you build muscle, helps your brain work properly, gives you energy and production throughout the day, and many other benefits like keeping you hydrated, oxygen coming in, things flowing properly through your body. In addition to water, I suggest taking some supplements to fill in the gaps where your food sources don't meet all of your body's needs. That's going to vary for every person based off your baseline and what you're deficient in. So I suggest taking a full panel blood test ever so often, as well as maybe running a genetic test to find out any genetic traits that you're missing, and then you can supplement to fill in those gaps. I'm also pretty fired up about future anti-aging supplements, and I'll get into all of those and the necessity for those in a future video based specifically on supplement. Everyone wants to talk about what foods to eat, but how much you eat of each food and when you eat it are equally as important depending on your strategy. When you eat your food is as important as what you eat. Lately, we've heard a lot about fasting or time-restricted eating for a reason. This allows your body to repair or remove old, nascent, or zombie cells from your brain and your mind and improve your overall health. You can achieve this through various strategies. You can do a 24, 36, 48-hour fasting schedule every so often, but that feels a little more like torture to me. So I like to do an 8-hour feeding window. I choose 11 to 7 p.m. because I want to finish as early as possible in the evening because it takes 3 to 5 hours to digest your food and bring your glucose levels down, cortisol, all that, so you can sleep really well, but also put you into a sleep fasting state for a longer period of time. And that's where you maximize the health benefits, the cellular regeneration and clearing of bad cells. And it lowers your inflammation, blood pressure, helps you burn fat, maintain your lean muscle mass, and get a better night's sleep. And don't worry, I know it sounds hard, but you'll get used to this quickly. It took me about a week. What happens is your liver adjusts and starts producing glucose at steady levels, so you don't get these spikes which cause hunger. So if you're just focused on burning fat or losing weight, then it really doesn't matter what you eat, it matters how much you eat. It's about calories in versus calories out. Obviously you want to try to eat as much healthy food as possible, but honestly, if you want to eat 2,000 calories a day of sugars and you're burning 3,000 calories a day working out and being active, you're still going to burn fat and lose weight. This may not work long term as far as diabetes and cardiovascular issues, but it'll solve your problems short term. On the flip side, you could eat almost as much as you want of unrefined, healthy whole foods and avoid sugars and processed foods, and you're almost certainly never going to get fat and avoid things like cardiovascular issues, diabetes, etc. Unless maybe you have genetic predisposed situation or a super inactive lifestyle. And remember, you can't outwork a bad diet. Exercise alone won't make up for poor nutrition, especially once you hit your 30s and 40s and beyond. You need to focus on eating the right foods in the right quantities at the right times. That said, as our goals shift from just weight loss to building muscle and healthy longevity of life and anti-aging efforts, we need to be avoiding processed foods, fried foods, sugars, and unhealthy fats. Instead, opting for unprocessed whole foods that are rich in nutrients and lean proteins. Eating a healthy and balanced diet provides your body with the nutrients and energy it needs to function properly. A diet balanced in vegetables, fruits, nuts, whole grains, and lean proteins can significantly improve your hair, nails, skin, and weight, as well as reduce risks of chronic diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and other vascular heart disease, etc. So how should we navigate all of this? By focusing on whole, nutrient-dense foods and intermittent fasting as suitable, and tying together exercise and nutrition, we can unlock the full potential of our bodies and lead a healthier, more vibrant lives. I'm often asked, what calories do I take in and what macros do I spread those around to? So I thought I'd share those. As you know, I use MyFitnessPal to track everything, and I average 2,400 calories coming in and 3,100 calories being burnt per day. So that might sound like a lot, but your body burns a certain amount per day just functioning. Your BMR, I burn 1,900 calories, and then I burn another 1,200 between my fitness exercise throughout the day, as well as cold plunging, doing all the sauna and steam and breathing exercise, etc., to stack up the rest. From a calorie in perspective, I do a healthy shake every morning. It's about 800 calories. It's got protein and all the vegetables and fruit and grains and throughout, as well as kind of a keto lunch, limit my carbs a bit there, as well as a nice healthy dinner. It's usually a meat, a vegetable, and some sort of carb as well. So nothing magical there, eating a lot of just whole foods. And now if I wanted to take it, so I'm taking in 24 and burning 3,100. So it's a 700 calorie deficit. So I'm burning fat every day. I've been getting leaner and leaner. And if at some point I just want to gain muscle and gain weight, I just have to increase that, maybe take that up to 3,500 calories per day. So what am I doing for macros? I take in 140 grams of carbs and 135 grams of proteins and 135 grams of fats. So pretty evenly balanced, between the three. In a perfect world, I wish I could take in a lot more protein and gain a little bit more muscle, but with my kidney scenario, I'm limited there. So give that a shot and hope it helps. A few options in case you end up eating too late and too many carbs, too close to bedtime, and you're worried that you can't get into that fasting state while you're sleeping or that help your deep sleep. You can actually go for a nice brisk walk after dinner, get your heart rate up, and that'll tell your body that bring your glucose levels down, as well as you can take a pill, a magical pill off the shelf called berberine, which tricks your body and tells you you just worked out or you're in a starving state. So it reduces your glucose levels and allows you to go into the fasting state much sooner. Anyway, give it a try. Keep in mind that if you get adequate sleep and full recovery, you won't make poor food choices because you won't be chasing that quick hit of energy. You'll feel great and you won't lose the willpower to make the right decisions. But on the flip side, if you get poor sleep and you're not fully recovered, it becomes a slippery slope. If you're trying to figure out what foods to focus on, I go with something like a Mediterranean diet. Many centenarians who live to 100 years or older focus on a similar diet. And it's highly focused on consuming vegetables, fruits, nuts, legumes, cereals, and olive oil. Lots and lots of olive oil. And moderate amount of alcohol and dairy, and restrictions on red meat, processed meats, saturated fats, and lots of sugars and sweets. This combination of foods should give you all the micronutrients and fiber that you need in your diet to live a nice, healthy lifestyle.